Okay, so um, I wanted to make this for a number of reasons because I think people have just been asking me for a while, like just random comments on my like other videos or on Twitter, or whatever. Like, where's the Universe Survival Arc? Universe Survival Arc, like where's that review? So this is gonna kind of be the video to that, because I know I guess people, well, not that I guess I know people like want to see that. So um, I can't make that video for a number of reasons, but um, I was actually thinking about doing it today, but then I kind of realized like the enormity of the task. So I guess just to like sort of preface this, like in the beginning, like people have been asking for me to do a universe survival arc review, in terms of either, well, mostly the anime, but I think people expected the manga version too because I was always comparing the arcs. But this is because like for every other arc of Dragon Ball Super, I would do like a 3 hour like rant or review or something, and people would like it. So um, I guess, and so naturally, and I don't blame them, they would expect it for this. But the one of the main reasons why I can't do this is because this is 55 episodes. This arc is 55 episodes. Um, when you look at all my other arc reviews, those were, I think, around what, like 3 hours or so. I'll have to go back and double check, but I think they're most of them were like 2.5 hours, 3 hours, 3.5 hours, something like that, right? And those were technically what, like pretty much the length of a full anime season. Like 26 episodes around. I'm sure it's not exactly 26 episodes, but maybe some of them are. But I know like I think wasn't Battle of Gods like 13, and then Revival of F was 13 or something like that. I'm not sure, but those arcs were they were an appropriate length where I could condense it like into a video. This one I can't do that. This is 55 episodes compared to something around 26. That's pretty much double of. That's pretty much, yeah. That's well, not exactly double, but a little more than double of 26, like 52 plus three, whatever. But this is 55 episodes. So for me to be able to condense that into like a good video where like it doesn't make it seem that I'm just rambling, that would be really hard. Don't get me wrong. Like I was working on it. Don't get me wrong. I was working on it, and I think I got to around episode like 111, 12, 13, something like that. It was definitely after the first time Goku used Ultra Instinct, the Omen state. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, Omen state. And I think that was episode 110. So I got like a little, in terms of like writing my script for that video, like my cliff notes, if you want to call it that. Like that's still there, but um, if that's like 110, then I have like what, like 21 episodes, and I mean it's a little more, but around 20 episodes, right? Still have around 20 episodes to go and like sort through. But the thing that I noticed is that when I looked at it, the length of that was just so fucking enormous, right? It's so fucking enormous. So, and it just doesn't make much sense for me to take 55 episodes of an anime and try to condense every single thing that I like and every single thing that I hate into one video. That would be like asking me to watch pretty much, not pretty much, but essentially kind of watch all of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is 64 episodes. Could you imagine me just watching every single episode, recording every single thing that I like and I don't like, and then trying to you guys see that? That's weird. But recording all that stuff and then trying to make it like into a as concise a video as I can. It's pretty much impossible, right? And given like that's how the structure of my previous arc reviews went, it just doesn't. It's just too massive a task for me to do. What I can say, I guess, to so like essentially, it's impossible for me to make the video. Another reason is because it's 2020 and Super ended in 2018. I guess it would have made more sense for me to attempt to try it as soon as Super ended, but given my hatred of Super in general, And the, 2 years, around 2.5 years have passed, and it's just kind of like not dawned on me, but I've come to the realization that even for things that you like, it just doesn't make sense to direct your energy to things that you don't like, especially like if it just made you so miserable and so sad and so mad, right? Just to sift through all that and to try and explain to people, right, on the internet, like why you didn't like it, and then for your comments to be peppered by like, oh, you're just a hater, oh, you're such a fucking old ass man, even though I'm about to be 27, but you guys understand, right? Explaining things to like these new Dragon Ball fans, not every Dragon Ball fan, but the generation that I've seen, not, I don't even want to say generation, that's like too dramatic a phrase, but the new wave of fans that came in with Super, and trying to explain to them like why this is a plot hole or why this doesn't fit narratively. They just don't really understand or even understand the definition of things like consistency or continuity or phrases like that, or what character development is, or so anyway, that's a whole nother discussion. But the combination of those two things, it being just so large in length and me being so far removed from Super, like honestly, just having like it's not even hatred at this point. Like I said, my association, relationship, feelings on Super, whatever, is just like one of detachment. Like and when I say I don't care, like of course there's, I mean, if I get riled up enough, sure, I'll start to feel hatred. But like on a regular ass day, when I wake up and I'm, finding some way to spend my time, whether it's working or whatever, like I'm not even thinking of Super. Like it's completely not even in my mental like headspace anymore. Of course, like if I go on Twitter and I'll see someone like retweet like some sort of like art or something and it looks cool, like sure, whatever. But I'll start to think about it like for 5 seconds. But my feeling, because Dragon Ball is my favorite series, and like how enamored I am with it, still am with it, and even though like I'm not constantly like thinking about it or tweeting about it like whatever, but that sort of distancing from Super along with the length of it has, I just can't make the video. So that's pretty much it. Now, to sort of like compensate for that, because I know some people just don't want to hear that. They don't want to. They were kind of looking forward to it, but just please understand, like you have to understand, like you're asking me to take 55 episodes or something, and I'm 2 years removed from it, and to condense it into a 2.5 hour, 3 hour rant, it's just so it's kind of impossible for me to do. If I were to do it, it would be 6 or 7 hours, and that's just like I can't sit in front of I can't sit in front of the computer for 6 or 7 hours recording a video. Like no, I have other things to do in my life. You know, uh, yeah, it's just not gonna happen. It's just unfeasible. So to sort of make up for that, I would rather show you like what I have done, what I had done so far, and that I'm not gonna list off any and every single thing, but I just to speak like in a more general term on how to like some of the problems or some of the things that I like. Now, I guess to start, because if you want my initial impression of the arc, it's a shitty arc, obviously, anime or manga wise. So to start it off, I'll start with the good things first. One of the things that I liked is that when Goku used the Genki Dama, there was a viable reason for the time it takes to make a Genki Dama, like why it was allowed to happen. Jiren is interested in the strength of the attack, whatever. Martial arts, typical martial arts warrior, like oh, I want to see how strong you are, I want to challenge, etc., etc. I liked how Goku is silent in Ultra Instinct for the most part. Ending 10, the ending 10 in Super, I thought that it's probably the best ending in Super, and even though it could be better, it's still solid, decent, whatever. Even though like I don't really care about anime openings and endings too much now, but ending 10 was something that I think is memorable from the Universe Survival arc. Goku breaking hits time skip, I thought that was good. Jiren was able to do it, so I didn't really have a problem with it. Kaba's Gallic gun against Frieza, that was well animated. I don't really have a problem with Kaba going Super Saiyan 2. Even though I find Mona herself such a fucking awful fucking choice for a fighter, but this is Dragon Ball Super. Awful fucking choices in general are just made. So the fact that Kaba had to, Kaba should have like, I don't mind the fact that Kaba can go Super Saiyan 2, right? Now, obviously with the lore, you have these Universe 6 Saiyans are apparently more powerful than base Universe Saiyans, but for some reason they have no idea what fucking Super Saiyan is because they never got mad enough. And that's just fucking stupid as far as I'm concerned, right? It's like just think about it. You have like characters like this variation of Saiyan so much more powerful than the usual typical kind of Saiyan that we're used to, but they don't know anything about Super Saiyan because they never got mad enough, and that's just fucking dumb and stupid and etc. Anyway, that's something that's something else. But the fact that that Kaba can go Super Saiyan 2 because he's so strong, I don't really have a problem with that. What I do have a problem with was obviously what I just said, them not knowing about Super Saiyan in the first place, and then who he did it against. Like, if you like, I understand Dragon Ball Toriyama, like, there's all cutesy, fun designs, and that's not just restricted to Dragon Ball. It's in Doctor Slump, it's in Dragon Quest, it's in pretty much any sort of thing that Toriyama has lent its hand in. Like, he's a humorous guy, like, that's what he does. But at the same time, when you watch Dragon Ball and you see people go Super Saiyan or they go, like, transform or get mad, it's against appropriately designed characters. And they're all, threats. If I look at Mona, I don't see her as a threat. Obviously, like, Boo is an exception, but it doesn't take much thought process to make someone like round and fat and say like, oh, like, this is so funny. That's easy. Um, so yeah, those are some of the things that I liked, I guess, or didn't have a problem with, for better lack of term. But some common things that I found throughout the arc that I thought were just that I thought were just complete like garbage or bad or trash, whatever. There's this constant theme of blaming Goku for this arc, like for him endangering the universes and that Goku is evil. I thought that was just the way that they tried to explain that in the arc was just stupid because first of all, people blaming Goku for the start of the arc is retarded since Zeno was going to destroy the universes anyway. Knowing Toriyama and a theme of Goku's character, it should be Goku's fault that things happen because think about it, like Goku as a Super Saiyan 2 fighting Vegeta as a Super Saiyan 2 allows for Buu to be born, right? Like in the Buu arc. Goku just existing allows for Cell to be born in the androids and for the Red Ribbon Army and their revenge, etc. Goku being a Saiyan, his father being Bardock, fighting Frieza, like that all comes to an end, right? And obviously, like when I say that it should be Goku's fault, it's out of his reach. Like it's not within his hands. It's his fault in an indirect way. It's not something that he directly did, and that's always a theme of his character. Like in any single arc, in not only Dragon Ball but even GT. Like if you look at him, not just him. I mean, it obviously extends to other characters, but the use of the Dragon Balls, Goku being a Saiyan baby. So everything kind of comes back to Goku. Like it's his fault, but in an indirect way. So in terms of that, like that's fine for this arc, but how they blame him is just stupid because he gave them a fighting chance. Like Zeno was going to destroy the universes anyway. Goku gave them a fighting chance. Um, so like the way that the anime tries to explain that or exemplify that is just pretty much bad, which is no surprise to me because Super sucks. There was terrible dialogue and overuse of terrible dialogue also. One, I think, not I think, but one episode that comes to mind was when Hit is eliminated from the tournament when he's fighting Jiren, and he's telling, I think, Kaba, Caulifla, and Kale, like, play the part that you were meant to play. Let's do the part that we were meant to play as though, like, everyone has a specific role, and just sort of the verbiage, the actual like wording of that phrase is just so bad and stupid and inappropriate. Like he was saying like this is my job. Like this is my job. This is my role. And just no, man. And another thing that comes to mind was Gohan at the start of the arc, or not the start of the arc, the start of the tournament, where he kept on saying like teamwork, 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 and it was just oh my god, dude, that was the most insufferable thing. Like teamwork, teamwork. I felt like I was watching Teletubbies or something. Like when I saw that. Obviously inappropriate power scaling that makes no sense. obviously, I've had so many fucking discussions about this. I'm not going to go into this. I'm not going to go into that. But obviously, anyone with the brain knows the power scaling is just so fucking dumb, dude. It's like Lavenda. I won't go too much into it, but Lavenda using poison gas is like key. I'm not even gonna start, dude. But that was obviously something that was wrong. Um, man. Generic and cheap stuff. Piccolo saving Gohan in episode 106. Goku and Vegeta using a fucking final Kamehameha against Trio de Dangers. Not even like Jiren or Hit or Cauliflower or yeah, Kale or Kefla, sorry, or any character like that. Against the fucking Trio de Dangers, they use a goddamn final Kamehameha. It completely kills like the suspense. Um, what else? Flanderization of characters, exaggeration of character traits, bad and excessive characterization in general. Like the Universe 9 Kaioshin, his nastiness, it's excessive and unnecessarily exaggerated. Every Goku smile, or not just Goku, any character smiling during a fight, and they go like, Goku is smiling, Gohan is smiling. Oh my god, they're enjoying the fight. Why are they smiling? Oh my lord, dude. That shit just made me so fucking mad, dude. Like that's like why is he smiling? Oh my god, dude. If I want to punch the shit, oh my lord. You can see already like the anger is coming back. Anyway, um we saying that Goku has problems with teamwork. Obviously that's bullshit. Fighting with Piccolo, fighting with Piccolo against Raditz, using the Genki Dama and having people fight, stall for him, not only against Frieza but against Buu as well. Fighting first against Cell so that Gohan can see how he fights. The list goes on. Whis is just saying bullshit, and the writers don't know what they're doing. Um, so those are just three examples, and then sometimes you just have plain dumb shit. You Gohan and Goku feel the need to lie to everyone about the universe being in danger. Other plain dumb shit is 28 planets exist, only 28 planets existing in Universe 7, which makes no sense because Frieza has a fucking planet number 79 back in the Namek arc. And then, at the same time, when you have 28 planets existing in Universe 7, and I take it 28 planets with life, I guess, I don't know, but it just makes seem like in the previous arc, Zamasu's feat of killing everyone in the universe is just meaningless. Like, when you say that you're going to rid the universe of all life, you expect it to be not teeming with life. It doesn't necessarily mean that every planet in the universe has to have life on it, but you expect it to have more than fucking 28 planets. 28 planets? Zamasu's grand scheme is to kill all life across every multiverse, and one of those universes has 28 people or 28 planets of life in it. It's so fucking stupid. Like, you have to understand like how easy it was for Frieza, who is so weak compared to every character else in and I'm saying like not even Namek arc Frieza. I'm gonna say in past arc Frieza, like where Bardock was still alive, etc. That character was so weak compared to future characters in the series, and he was able to do it effortlessly. You know what I mean? So, um, what else? Oh yeah, Kale's hair being as a Super Saiyan being green just because that's obvious fan fiction bullshit. Yeah, uh, numerous plot holes. Krillin forgetting his martial arts training despite in the Rainbow Marijuana herb arc. I think it was like what like two fucking episodes or something like that. That meaningless filler arc. Not even filler. I'm not even call it filler. It's just meaningless. Could you imagine like Krillin and Goku in the Buu arc trying to go get Rainbow Marijuana, and like they're struggling with fucking like what Phantom Nappa or something like that? I don't even know. There's a Yardrat from Universe 2 that's never explained, even though 6 and 7 are like the mirror. Are like the mirror universes. There's a Yardrat from Universe 2. Caulifla knows about Super Saiyan 3 for some reason, even though she didn't even know what a regular Super Saiyan was. Kale willfully goes berserk when the entire point of her training or fighting, whatever you want to call it, in this arc was to be able to control it. But she says, fuck that, I'm gonna go berserk anyway. Um, Yeah. The epithets for the, and this is not plot holes, this is just like miscellaneous stuff that I found stupid. The epithets for the universes were bad. Universe 1 is called the Supreme Universe, even though they don't fucking fight. We don't know anything about Universe 1. They're just called the Supreme Universe. Universe 12 is called the Ultimate Universe. So, what's the difference between the Supreme Universe and the Ultimate Universe? No one will ever know. Universe 2 is called the Kind Universe. Universe 3 is called the Spiritual Universe. And these things are never really explained. And honestly, at this point, like, you got to think about like the context of the original manga, right? Like, could you imagine something being called like a kind universe? What does it mean to be called a kind universe? There are kind characters in what we now know as Universe 7, regardless. What makes that the kind universe, you know? It's just like everyone is loving and gets along, and it's just kind of like, no, dude, we saw one fucking planet with Ribrianne on it supporting them, and that's supposed to, one planet is supposed to be indicative of the entire universe. Why is Universe 3, which is fucking full of machines and robots, why is that called the spiritual universe? Um, Yeah, man. So anyway, this has been going on for 20 minutes. So these are just some of the sorts of things that I want to make up to you as best as I can. Not that I feel a need to make it up to you because, like I said, it's just impossible for me to make a full-on comprehensive review of this arc. But those are some of the sorts of things that I just fucking hated. And yeah, fuck Dragon Ball Super. Fuck Universe Survival arc. Um, I obviously I could go on to like more more obvious things like Ultra Instinct being stupid. I already made a video on that anyway, but why that fucking form sucks. Jiren's character sucks. Vegeta's character obviously sucks. Even Goku's character, even though like they regress him and bring him back, I guess. But I guess because this is the final arc of Super, one of the best ways that I can um, sorry, that was my work computer. I was just looking at it. One of the realizations that I've come to, and I've talked about it like in some of the streams that I've done, one of the realizations that I've come to about Dragon Ball Super is that even though this is posited as a sequel to Dragon Ball Z, when you think about the involvement of Toriyama, how lazy he is, and the involvement of everyone else, and you think about like how this is a series that is coming back after 20 years, you start to realize this is more of a commemorative series rather than a full on fucking sequel. Like yeah, the time placement takes place after Boo, but outside of that, like the characters don't really act like themselves. The suits of the characters, the clothing of the characters, especially Goku and Vegeta, and Krillin, especially those people, those three, it's relegated to their previous arcs, Geese. And obviously, with if you read the original manga, every character is changed to be something different, and that's not the case here. So when you start to think of things like that, and you see how everything has regressed, how things don't fit in with the lore of the original manga, um, obviously, like it just sucks from a narrative standpoint, but things become easier to swallow and easier to stand and tolerate when you realize Dragon Ball Super is more of a commemorative series. It's more of a commemorative series where it's sort of like instead of trying to make it like a full on sequel, they try to take things back from the past, nostalgic things, and try to incorporate it into quote unquote this new sequel to Dragon Ball Z series. And, it's not always successful. It's hardly successful, I should say. But things like that, even though they are regressive in nature, it makes you realize, or at least it made me start to think that they're trying to make it more of like a trademark signature thing rather than it's one of those sorts of things where they just take it's kind of like this like um it's kind of like I look at it like One Piece film what was the new one called Stampede, Stampede. It's just it's not really trying to follow like a set story. It's not necessarily trying to follow like a set of rules. It's just trying to take the most popular images of those characters. Hence why you see Vegeta like in his Android's art outfit all the time, and instead of making him like his Boo arc self, it makes him like his Android's arc self, his Namek arc self. It takes those characterizations and appearances of the characters and just tries to put them and just tries to fit them like in a series, kind of like what the Dragon Ball Z movies were doing, like the Broly movie. Like even though those can't really fit in the timeline, but in terms of like the characters and the attacks that they use, like fucking Vegeta uses the Gallic Gun more in fucking Dragon Ball Super than he ever did in the entirety of Dragon Ball Z, you know? So, or how he uses the Final Flash, things like that. How Gohan, uses the Masenko. I think he only uses the Masenko, what, I think twice in Dragon Ball Z, and I think he uses it like 3 or 4 times, 5 times, 6 times in Super if I'm not mistaken. So, when you start to think about it from that perspective, it becomes easier to tolerate. Doesn't necessarily make it okay or suitable, but it certainly makes it, your understanding of like why Dragon Ball Super was written the way that it was, it comes to you come to a better understanding of that. As well as like who was involved in the writing, not just Toriyama. It was Toyotaro. It was the Toei writers. They made their own plot elements and stories, and they implemented it into whatever plot outline Toriyama did. And see, that's the funny thing, right? Like Toriyama said that he was so pissed off at the live action movie that he was only motivated enough to do a fucking plot outline. Like if you imagine someone like Oda on One Piece, or Inoue, or Togashi, or maybe not Togashi, but Hiro Mashima, like on Fairy Tail, those people, they would go out of their way to like flesh out the dialogue, to draw and animate, not animate, draw illustrations, and to show people like what this character thinks, and they would go like super in depth about it. And Toriyama doesn't. And Toriyama has been a lazy person. I love him for it, but as we see with Dragon Ball Super, that laziness doesn't always come to a moment of good stuff. And so yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about the Universe Survival arc. I mean, these last couple of minutes I was just talking about Dragon Ball Super as a whole because it was the end of the anime, and I know people don't read the Moro arc in the manga. And yeah, don't expect a review for Moro arc in the manga and the anime. That's not gonna happen. Yeah, it's just not gonna happen. I'm so removed from Super. I don't care about Super, and if I were to go back into it, I would hate it so much. And yeah, I'm done with Dragon Ball Super and giving it more attention and more energy than I need to. But yeah, these last couple of minutes, I just wanted to talk about, because it's the last arc of the anime, like it's I just wanted to talk about Super in general more. And yeah, man. Also, this new fan base. I mean, it's not just true for Dragon Ball. It's true for anything that kind of gets popular. Like even Yakuza. Yakuza is one of my favorite video games. These wave of new fans are just so bad. Same thing with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Like these new wave of JoJo's fans are just fucking awful. Like you see like these memes and people exaggerating like how emotional or how happy or how wholesome it makes them feel, and it's just tweet after tweet after tweet of just stupid bullshit like that. Not that I'm telling anyone like how they should feel, how they should feel about something, or like what they can make or anything like that, but it's just that the volume of those sorts of tweets and that way of thinking is just really, really stupid and kind of, in the case of Dragon Ball Super, unfounded. Like they try to say like Goku has always been like this, and it's just kind of like, no, dude, you don't really have good reading comprehension, So anyway, yeah, man. I guess as on a final note, I can just talk about like these new Dragon Ball fans. I just try to distance myself away from them. Any sort of explanation, like I go like on long diatribes on Twitter, and I try to explain to these dudes, and they don't seem to understand pretty much anything. They don't really, and this is kind of the thing, right? Like, see, when I was active like in Kanzenshu, I think it was 2009, 2010 or whatever. I was part of that forum, right? Now I don't think I didn't actually make an official, like I was a lurker. I didn't make an official account until 2012, right? But what I will say is that you see people, when you see people from that era of Kanzenshuu, which is pretty much the best dragon, which at the time I would say, like I can't really say now because I haven't, I have no interest to go and talk about Super and see what's new with Dragon Ball nowadays because all the modern Dragon Ball stuff sucks. All the modern Dragon Ball stuff sucks, but I think about like intelligent people from that era, like Kaboom Crusader, the Savage 68, Random Guy 96, Super Saiyan Mike Gozar. Just a couple, and if Geekdom 101 or some of the older people are watching this, you guys know who I'm talking about. People from that era were really like intelligent and understood like what the character and what the manga was about, right? They didn't need anything to be explained to them verbatim, like explicitly, like in this speech dialogue or in this interview, to say like, oh yeah, that suits Goku. Goku or Vegeta, they would really wouldn't do that. Oh yeah, yeah, Gohan, he probably likes that kind of meat. You know what I mean? And it just seems like nowadays these new fans, from what I can tell, seem to be like 19, 20-year olds, like still in college or just getting out of college. They don't really have that innate understanding or intuition or feeling of the series. And I also believe it says something when all those people that I mentioned, they all hate Dragon Ball Super. They all think it sucks. And I just think something like, and you don't see them talking about Dragon Ball much. You don't see them tweeting about Dragon Ball much. You don't see them on Kanzenshuu anymore, you know? And I just think it's telling that all those people who were like mainstays of the community are just now gone because of their understanding and because of what they think about Super. And so that's how I know that's how I know, like, because it just gives me verification and validation that what I feel about Super is pretty much right. Not that I'm just one person, like, out of 7 billion people on this planet, right? Like, what the fuck does my opinion mean, right? But that being said, I know, like, criticizing Dragon Ball Super is definitely the right thing to do. So yeah, anyway, that's the end of this video. I just wanted to let you guys know the Universe Survival Arc is not coming. But to make it up to you, just to sort of give you general problems that I found wrong with it, a couple things that I liked here and there, and the state of modern Dragon Ball, I guess, as a whole, whether it's the fandom or the new products, and how I feel about it. But yeah, anyway, this is my first face-to-face video. I think I made that Ultra Instinct video like a couple months ago, and here I am making another one. Anyway, thank you guys. Have a good day.